Captain America: Brave New World. Released February 14th, 2025. Directed by Julius Ona. Written by Rob Edwards, Malcolm Spellman, and Dallin Musson. Starring Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, and Danny Ramirez. Rotten Tomatoes score, 51%. Metacritic, 42. IMDb, 6. MPA rating PG-13. Welcome back to Real Reviews. Like always, I am your host, Lee. Today we are talking about Captain America: Brave New World, the fourth Captain America movie, the 35th Marvel movie, and the first movie led by Anthony Mackie. Is it a strong entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let's talk about it. I have to admit the story of this movie and the inclusion of some characters is confusing to say the least. Not the story itself, but why it is what it is. Since this is a Marvel movie, if you exist on social media, there is no way it hasn't been spoiled, so I will talk about the story relatively freely. So let's talk about some things that I don't see the point in being in this movie. The leader is the first, Red Hulk specifically, Ross is fine, and Ruth Bat Seraph being the last. None of them are needed in this movie. For those of you not familiar, the leader, aka Samuel Stern, is often a Hulk villain, and he is a super genius partially due to gamma radiation exposure, which is pretty similar to how he is in the movie. In the movie, he uses lights and a song to mind control people, whereas his comic version can just mind control people with his normal powers. Due to him not having powers in the movie, he could have been anyone else. Honestly, since they have one character from it, they should have just had the Serpent Society be the villain of the movie. The whole thing is Samuel wants to expose how bad Ross is by tricking him into a full-blown war with Japan over the control of Celestial Island. You know, the Celestial that came out of the ocean in Eternals that people have been wondering what was going on with? Oh, turns out it is made of adamantium, which I'm not a fan of, but we will talk about that in a bit. A part of Samuel's plan is to make Ross get so angry that he turns into the Red Hulk. We know this happens due to the trailer, but he could have proved that Ross was awful without doing that part. So they added additional cost to the budget for something that ultimately just draws out the end of the movie. My problem with Ruth is that since Bucky is in this movie showing that he is around, she doesn't bring anything of interest to the movie, just another character that could have been someone else, especially because I doubt that she will be in many other movies. Honestly, when you really analyze it, the story of this movie makes near no sense, like it had no intention of being anything deeper than an action movie that just happens to be in the MCU. So the big thing that this movie is trying to do is set up the need for the Avengers to be rebuilt and for Sam to be the leader. I thought through every current Marvel character that could feasibly be the leader of the new Avengers, and it is between Sam and Carol. Currently within the active heroes, I don't think that Sam or Carol is a good fit because they have failed to really build them out in ways that they can set up the future of the MCU. So I have rarely liked Anthony Mackie as a lead actor. I think that especially when he is following up where another actor was the lead originally, that he lacks the ability to really make the same impact. I feel like that was true in Altered Carbon and here. Sam isn't a bad character, and within the confines of the movie he works, but this movie tries so hard to be serious minus maybe 5 scenes with humor in them that I don't think he really gets the traction that he needed to be impactful. Harrison Ford and Giancarlo Esposito do what they always do and act with such presence that they kill every scene they are in, and I really wish Giancarlo was in more of the film, but they are clearly setting him up as a future villain. Danny Ramirez does a great job as Joaquin Torres, although as my partner pointed out, he has the most sidekick energy possible the whole time he is on screen. Even the scenes where he isn't suited up, he still brings that same energy. Carl Lumbly reprises his role as Isaiah Bradley, and he is amazing yet again. They get much more into his backstory. On that note, I cannot more highly recommend his comic Truth, Red, White, and Black. If you get a chance, read it. Shira Haas is fine as Ruth, but yet again I struggle to see the point of this character, so I have little to say on the acting. So the protagonist, antagonist, and side characters, do they work? Yes and no. Sam is dealing with his need to try to live up to the mantle created by Steve Rogers. It works, and it does get resolved towards the end, during a scene with Bucky. Samuel Stearns doesn't really work because his plan is so convoluted that it makes no sense, and I feel like he would have been better used in a movie counter to the Hulk or another direct strength hero, or even just one who acts rashly like Thor. I know that Marvel still has issues with the rights to have a Hulk movie, but still. So the side characters are held together by great acting. Even while I don't think that Red Hulk was needed, Thunderbolt Ross's whole storyline from his perspective makes sense. He is trying to make amends for his past, but also has issues with correcting his mistakes. While they don't advance Isaiah's story in any meaningful way, he adds so much gravity to the movie. Did I find this movie enjoyable? Yes and no. In the moment of watching the movie, I did enjoy it. But the more I thought about it, even moments after it finished, my enjoyment diminished quickly. The biggest detractor is that the movie does nothing to really move the MCU forward as a whole. 4 things really happen here. 1. Sam fully embraces the mantle of Captain America. 2. Red Hulk is set up to be a possible future villain. 3. Sam decides that he does need to rebuild the Avengers, and in the after-credit scene Samuel all but says Secret Wars. The Secret Wars thing leads me into why adamantium being introduced is pointless. Similar to the comics, they are likely going to use that as a way to equalize the universe where they grab all the characters they want to be in the sacred timeline and just put them there. It could have easily been added to the universe at that point when characters that use it are being introduced. Now it just gets to be another MacGuffin in a later movie. Do I recommend this movie? If you are highly invested in the MCU, yeah, absolutely. If you have been waning on the MCU but love an action movie that doesn't really try anything new, sure. But if you are expecting for this movie to wow you or move the needle forward, just wait till it is on Disney Plus and watch it in the comfort of your home. There is plenty of spectacle, but it won't make you think that Marvel is saved. Overall, I gave Captain America: Brave New World a 5 out of 8, or a 6.25 out of 10. The story, antagonist, and enjoyability being my main issues. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos like this. I tend to have at least 2 videos out per week, real reviews like the one you just watched or AI reviews depending on releases. Until next time,